He died in 1923. His work was Fundació Antoni Tàpies, el Museu de Zoologia, Institut Pere Mata, Casa Navàs i Santa Creu en Sant Pau Hospital. Santa Creu and Sant Pau Hospital, built between 1905 and 1930. Pogil financed the hospital that was called Sant Pau Hospital because of his name. It's similar to 9 Eixample Island areas. Hospital model with underground communications, and all the pavilions have the same sun hours. This is the principal front of hospital. Here there are some examples of vegetable motifs, like Calendula officinalis, that belongs to the Asteraceous family. Here you can see another examples of these elements, like the trompeta flower. And finally, a rose from Rosaceous family. Inside. This is inside of the Sant Pau Hospital, and we are going to see some interesting motifs, like the badges, like this. Some other vegetal decoratives are Quercus robur, Asteraceous family, and the symbols at garden, for example,
architecture. We can see that all these forms remains us to the nature, yeah? And what about the Oriental art? The Oriental art is very similar because they search the nature and search the abstraction. We're going to see this later on. Well, here are some images. We can see a forest of columns, and here too, and everything is not visual way. For example, this is a character, the kanji of mountain. We can see that it's like a mountain. And this one is the kanji of horse. You can see the evolution here, how it changes from a real animal, from a real picture, into a hologram. And the Japanese And the Chinese, they write with these pictograms. Here we can see the kanji, the character of tree. It's like a tree with a little of imagination, you can see the tree there. But what happens if we add another tree to the kanji of tree? It becomes a forest. More trees, forest. And if we add another tree, we form another kanji. It's the kanji.
Quando siamo arrivati il sabato pomeriggio di Germania a Roma, è la prima volta per gli amici, per gli studenti di stare in Italia, soprattutto a Roma, e siamo molto felici.
Sorry, but I agree.
We have brought to you a coffee maker that was first invented many years ago. It was quite fashionable, maybe 20 or 30 years ago. It's out of fashion now. But in an auction, an eBay auction, I bought this coffee maker. There is a rationale behind it, of course. Our work concentrates on sort of a historic dimension of a certain person next to Darmstadt, Denis Papin, who is of French origin, lived in Milano, then went to London to become a member of the scientific community there, and then finally ended up next to Darmstadt, and then went back to London where he died. And all his work is around steam. And this machine works with steam, and it is nice to see what steam does, and it helps understand all this work on Papin. We can rip it over. Yeah. So half a liter, you could use more. Matthias, you want to explain?
And it starts to produce steam. And the steam has a higher value than the hot air inside. So the higher value increased the force onto the water and push it up here over to the coffee. And when we now turn off the heat, it cools down and the steam condensates back to water. And so the force is away and the water will flow back into this here, and now we can drink then the coffee.
Being sucked back into the lower container because of the condensing steam, sucked back into the lower container, and in a few minutes we will have all the coffee down there.